trying to get these videos in before I go to my dentist appointment. Hi, my name is Miss Kiki. Welcome to my channel. I've been doing a series about dating and love life and marriage and particularly online dating because that's what I do. I'm an online dater. I was in a 5-year relationship. I became single. I've been single for a while, but I'm finally ready to get back into dating. Yay. And so I decided to chronicle my journey, and then also tell some tales, about things that I've seen, things that I experienced. I've experienced a lot of life and experienced a lot of dating. I was married, I'm widowed. Like I said, I was in a 5-year relationship that I ended because of various reasons. And I have a whole playlist that's called About Me that I talk about just relationship and love life stuff and stuff that's going on. So I have shorts, I have videos. Just make sure you like, share, subscribe, thumbs up, whatever, whatever. So I'm going to tell a story about my uncle. This is a true story. So I had an uncle, an older gentleman, and he has passed on now, by the way. And he had older than me. My uncle would be like in his 70s, late 60s, early 70s, I think, if he was around now. And so my uncle married. He got married when he was young. His first marriage was when he was in his 20s, and he had 2 kids, and that didn't work out. Then he got married. Then he actually that marriage didn't work out for various reasons. I don't know. Then he was in a second marriage, and the lady he married, she already had some kids, and that didn't work out as well. She actually cheated on him with the father of her children, and she cheated on him and broke his heart because he really loved that one. And so then after a while, he left it alone, and he helped raise her kids. He was married for a while. So the first wife, he had 2 kids. He was married for like 5 years. The second wife, he was married 7 or 8 years. So by the time, he was in his 30s, he found out he was single again. So he meets this younger lady, marries her. This younger lady in her 20s basically married my uncle because he was stable. He had a good gene. He had a good job, that good job girl. He had the GM job, right? So he had a good job. And she basically married him because he was stable. He had money, whatever, whatever. He ended up having a baby with her. She ended up being a hot mess, flipped the script, stopped him from seeing his daughter, and he fought in court. And she was on drugs. He was a hot mess. And he went back and forth to court with her for years. So by the time my uncle was like in his early 40s, he had found himself single. He'd been married 3 times, 3 kids, 2 stepchildren, paying child support. First wife, things didn't work out. They married too young. Second wife cheated on him, took him through the ringer, took him through it. Thank God he didn't have no kids by her. The third wife, she basically used him. She cheated on him too. So after that, my uncle dated a few women here and there, and it didn't work out. My uncle had basically come to the conclusion after that he did not want to get married again. He was in his 40s, and he basically came to the conclusion that obviously there was something wrong with the way he was picking women. He had dated other women in between, and he felt like, I don't want to get married again. I definitely don't want to have any children. His kids are getting older. He wanted to focus on seeing his kids, raising his kids, and not, having another baby mama or another wife. And my uncle just decided that he was gonna be a player. Like, my uncle was a straight player. And that's what he did. And my uncle, in the beginning, he didn't really know what he was doing. But my uncle just decided that, he wasn't gonna have no serious relationship, that he was gonna be with women. Now, some of these women that he was with, I'm sure there was some kind of exchange of money involved. There might have been. He would go to family functions. He would go to work functions. He would have a different woman on his arm, and we would be polite and be like, "Hey, how you doing, Mary, or whatever your name is?" And we would never see her again. My uncle had decided he was tired of being hurt. He was tired of being broke and broken, and he just decided that for the rest of his life, he wasn't going to have a serious relationship. For the rest of his life, he wasn't going to be with no chick he couldn't kick out the next day. Now, whether some of y'all agree with that shit or not, some of y'all might, some of y'all might not. But it worked for my uncle, and he lived his life, and some of them chicks showed up at his funeral. But he had one chick that she was married, and her husband was a quadriplegic, and they would see each other and they woo 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 woo, and then they wouldn't see each other for a month or two, and then they'd hang out, and she would spend weekends over her house, and she was still married, and they would do their thing, you know what I'm saying? And that was kind of like his kicking friend, his cuddy buddy, his homie loving friend, his FWB, whatever y'all want to call it. That's how my uncle lived his life on his terms, how he wanted to do it, and he never lied to these women. Like I said, he said he had some pretty young things. Again, I don't know how he got these women. There was always rumors going around about what my uncle was doing, but my uncle had decided that this is the lifestyle that he wanted to live. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. And if that's the lifestyle that you want to live and it works for you, then do it. You don't have to live your life looking for a man or looking for a woman relationship. My uncle worked hard. My uncle enjoyed his life. He went to Barbados with one of these women. He went on vacation with one of these women. And my uncle was happy. You know, he's like, look here, baby girl, I don't want to be with no woman I can't kick out. You know, what am I gonna say about that? What am I be like, oh, that's wrong? You know, you gotta oh, like that's the way he wanted to live his life. Do you, Unc? Okay, you happy? You know, yeah. I keep one around for a little bit, you know, I'll keep running around for a couple weeks, and then she knew what the deal was. He wasn't lying to these women, he wasn't tricking these women. He understands sometimes you had to pay to play with some of these women. He understands what a lot of these younger ones were about, and they weren't underage. They was like women in their 20s and 30s, and he was like in his 50s by then. And he understood what the deal was, what the game was. And the game is meant to be sold, not told. But that's the thing that y'all are missing out. And I'm sure that some of y'all, maybe you may put in the comment section, y'all had uncles and even aunts, whether they be gay or straight, that may have lived their life like that. They had a different girlfriend every week or different man every week. Y'all know people like this, especially in the black community. I know people on the block that was like that. That was old, retired, and they would just have a pretty young thing. They would invite them to the barbecue, the card game, or whatever. And then you wouldn't see her no more. I mean, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what it is. Especially living in the hood, you know what it is. Y'all had that uncle, that aunt that always had somebody, and it was what it was. And so my uncle, when he decided to do this, he didn't make no announcement. He didn't call a family meeting. You know, this is the days before social media, so it wasn't no grand statement. Now people just like, oh, I'm decentering away from men. I'm gonna be a happy single bachelor, and now they got to get on Facebook and TikTok and make 10 videos about it, and we're gonna start a whole move. I saw online we're decentering men. Decentering men, boo. You should have been done that. Why is men your center? Why is a man or a woman the center of your universe in any circumstance? Why is having a companionship relationship your basis for happiness? It should not. It's not mine. I have a life, a career, kids. If I get bored enough, I'll go back to school and go get another degree. Like I don't understand why we got to have movements where we're decentering men, where we're red pill. Move on with your life. Well, I don't like women and did it and women, I'm complaining. Okay, well then move on with your life. I just did a short about how people need to move the fuck on. Why do we have to have whole videos and movements and grandstanding about or people talking about they divesting? I don't like black men no more. Okay, boo, you late. There are plenty of black women who date white men. We've been dating white men since the 90s, just because y'all didn't know about it. Boo, I've been dating white men forever. I didn't make a grand statement. I'm not dragging black men. I'm not here like I don't date black men and I date white men now. I like white men. White men only. White men. Like who? Or black men. I don't like black women because, and then you're doing whole videos about it. Who gives a shit? If you want to date a white woman, I'm not pressed about it. If that's all you wanted, I have uncles that only date white women. What do y'all talk? What are we really talking about? Who out there don't know somebody that don't date somebody biracial? I mean, interracially. Who don't? I know in the black community, we all have cousins, aunts, uncles, people who either then dip their toe in the Kool-Aid or interracial relationships, or that's all they fuck with. I've had uncles that all they fuck with is white women. I'm like, so this is a big deal now? Like, oh my God, you're a black man to date white women. Gasp, class the pearls. Oh my God, he's only dates white women. I'm like, yeah, I have cousins that only date white women. They have babies with white women. Who cares? Like, we all know that. It doesn't have to be said. When he show up with a snow bunny at the picnic, nobody's like, there hasn't been a black woman here with my uncle or my cousin. What is going on here? Are you saying, cousin, that you only fuck with white women? Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. No one's trying to kick them out of the family because they date white women. No one's trying to kick my cousin out the family because she only dates Hispanic and white. Nobody's trying to disinherited me because I have biracial children. Like, or I married a white man. Like, it wasn't shocking, even in conservative ass Texas. It's not shocking here. It was like, oh, okay, it's a little unusual. You don't see it a lot of a black woman with a white man. But the idea that people are grandstanding over this, about, oh my God, look what I'm doing. It's not that serious. So I tell people, go live your life on your terms, how you want to lead it. There's 10 different ways to skin a cat. And the way people online are telling you, or your family, or your church, or your friends, and they all may be well meaning, but you can do you, and you're grown. If you're grown enough, you don't have to apologize. You don't have, my uncle didn't explain nothing to nobody. There was nothing to be said or explained. If he wanted to live a life as a player or a pimp, that's what he wanted to do. He wasn't hurting nobody. He wasn't doing nothing illegal. He liked women of all flavors and all different colors. And that's what he wanted to do. Nobody was up his ass about it. Nobody was questioning and flexing on him about it. He wasn't flexing on nobody. He was like, this, I don't want a relationship. This is what I'm going to do. Again, women, if you don't want a relationship, you just want to date men or you just want to sleep with men, go do it. Men, if you want to sleep with women and that's all you want to do, as long as y'all are doing it safely, as long as you're protecting yourself, as long as you're not bringing unwanted babies in the situation, then do you. Marriage may not be for you. Relationships may not be for you. But you have to come to that decision. So if that's a decision you want to make, then go at it. Have at it. And don't apologize to anybody, or you don't have to explain nothing to nobody if you wrong. Just go do you. I may come to that decision one day where I'm like, you know what? I just want to have me some nice little boy toy, little cute little thing on my arm, some nice little 30-year-old, and just date here and date there and roll on out. It's just that simple. So if you are a man in that situation, as long as you're dealing with people honestly, as long as you're protecting yourself, and as long as you're not bringing unwanted babies, you're not out here being reckless about it, then do you. You don't have to have a relationship with a woman. You don't have to do that. And sometimes you got to pay to play, but that it is what it is. But these days in this age, my uncle was doing this long before social media. Now there's social media. There's tons of women on social media. There's tons of dating apps. There's tons of different kinds of dating apps. I talked about Ashley Madison. Watch my video about that. There are all different flavors and all different things for all different people. There's kink communities out there. There are websites just for the kink community. If you into that freaky deaky stuff, hey, nothing wrong with it. You a swinger. There's swinger groups and swinger dating apps. I'm gonna do a video about a swinger dating apps out there that I've been on. It's something for everybody out there. You don't have to fall in this cookie cutter narrative. You don't have to listen to people telling you that women are terrible and women are awful and da 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 da, and that you want everybody to be everything for you. Sometimes it is what it is. If you don't have to be an incel. If there's no reason why anybody should be involuntarily celibate in 2023. Get you a good job. You don't have to be involuntary celibate, if you know what I mean. Sometimes you got to pay to play, and sometimes it just be that way. But you don't have to sit here and be by yourself and be alone and do this. Too many people are wanting something for nothing. And when I say nothing, I don't mean monetarily. I mean no effort, no trying to get themselves together. And you want a woman to fall from the sky into your lap. You want a man to fall from the sky into your lap. Nobody wants to put any effort into it. You got to put effort in yourself. You got to put effort in finding someone. This is not 10, 15 years ago where you're just going to stumble upon someone at a club or a bar or the grocery store or at church. Sometimes you got to put some work into it. And then once you put work into it, if you don't see the dividends about it, then you go to other avenues. But there are options for you if you are needing the physical. If that's all you're looking for, that's easy to find. If you all you're looking for is sexual intimacy, that is easy to find legally. And like I said, it's easy to find. It ain't like it was. I mean, I can imagine 10, 20, 30 years ago, you have to do much more finessing and finagling. Now you don't have to do that, fellas. Just go live your life. Don't be bitter. Don't be sexless. You don't have to be sexless and bitter in 2023 and 2024. There's no reason. They did studies about men 18 to 30 that are having less sexual intimacy. They're having less relationships. I said there's a lot of this. There's a lot of reasons for it. But a lot of this because men ain't really trying. They not trying to put no effort into it. They just expect some woman to just come around the corner out of the bushes somewhere and be like, let's be together. And then they don't want to put no effort in trying to get to know them and trying to get themselves together and trying to have conversation. You know, there's a time when men had game. Men knew how to talk to women. Men be like, say, and it's nothing disrespectful. It's nothing aggressive. But there were times when people actually knew how to talk to each other. What is happening is that men between 18 and 30, social media has messed everything up. So people don't know how to talk to people anymore. I have to tell my son how to slow down and put things together coherently because he's getting to the point where he don't know how to have dialogue and conversation. When you live in an age where everything is text and typing and TikTok, people don't know how to talk to each other no more. So all these young people growing up, they don't know how to talk to people. They don't have conversations with women. They don't know how to have conversations with the same sex, much less the opposite sex. Parents have failed in teaching their kids any sense in how to talk to the opposite sex. That's something I'm going to have to teach my son. We're going to have to sit down and have a conversation about how to talk to women. What are women looking for? I don't think men and women are having these conversations with their young men and their young women. Like nobody is teaching people. People just think that people know how to get in relationships and they do not. And so when they fall in relationships that are abusive, that are unfulfilled, that don't last, they're like, "Oh my God, what happened?" Because no one's told you how to treat someone and how to be treated. So if that's not working for you and you just want the physical or you don't want to put in the effort, there's not a lot of effort to get the physical. So if you want to go that route, honey, go that route and be unapologetically in your shit. So that's what I just started to tell you, but tell a story about my uncle and how he lived his life and he died a happy man and he wasn't stressed about being in a relationship and you don't have to be. So that you don't have to have a relationship. You can be single if you don't want to be solo dolo and you just need some company every now and then go do that. Go do that. But being bitter, being angry on the fucking internet is not helping you or helping your sex life. So don't do that. Don't be a bitter bitch. It's not helping. So y'all have a good day.